A lot of you probably know that I find all manner of things computerized interesting, even if they firmly fall under the old junk category. But even I have to admit to you that this thing right here is not only not worth the sticker price, it's really not worth anything at all. Which is kind of sad because just a couple of years ago these things were still extremely usable, but not anymore. This is a white box machine once again. Just some random thing. I think the case design looks kind of neat. I don't remember when the Athlon XP really came out. I think it was in like 2001 or so. So this is probably a lot older than I think it is, but either way, it's just some boring beige box, really. Look how shiny that power supply is. That's a dead giveaway that it's a cheap piece of junk, and it really is. I'm sure it's a replacement for some equally cheap piece of junk that blew up at some point. Probably doesn't even work, because I'm sure the power supply has blown something up. They did install a sound card. I don't know if that was a CTO option or not, because it does have the same stickers on it that the rest of the cards in here have, so I'm sure it was installed around the same time, or at least it came from the same vendor. That video card is just a Radeon 9200 SE. Might be slightly better. I think I've got a Radeon 9200 LE. I know I have a 9200 something. There's no hard drive left for me, but that's not really a surprise. This thing's got a lot of hard drive bays in it. Make a really nice server, really. Probably could use it for a server instead of the Antec case I'm using now, even though the Antec case is pretty nice too. Looks like this is an ASRock motherboard. What does that say? K7V M3 version 1.02. Something about an AGP card. 3.3 volt AGP card will cause permanent damage. Oh no. Okay, well that's interesting. Anyway, it's definitely an Athlon XP. You might be able to tell by the heatsink. That's a socket 462. It uses the same heatsink design as the Pentium 3 and the PGA 370. It does have one stick of RAM in it. I wonder what this is. Some cheap piece of XR DDR 266. Wow, that's really slow. That can't be 64 megs, can it? I mean, it is good quality chips. I mean, who knows? This is probably just some cheap Chinese piece of junk that just uses factory reject chips. I'm sure it doesn't work. It is DDR, though, so that's pretty nice. In any event, because I don't have a hard drive, there's not a whole lot that I can really do with this at this point. But I am going to get the air compressor fired up and clean all the dirt out. And I might go get a VGA cable and a keyboard, maybe a mouse, and a USB stick with a Linux on it or something. Not that I'm sure Linux will run on this. I don't think this hardware is new enough for Linux to really work. A lot of Linuxes are 64-bit only now, which is really annoying considering Linux is supposed to be meant for old PCs. Now, this isn't that old and it doesn't support it, so that's kind of dumb. Way to go, guys. Okay, I wouldn't normally do this, just because it's probably not all that interesting. I don't think there's that much dust in this, but we'll go ahead and show you if there's a dust cloud. I'm sure some of you will want to see it. So. I think it's pretty clean. Certainly a lot cleaner than it was. So, now we just gotta hook it up, see what it does. Now this TV is supposed to be sold. I don't even really think it's working all that well. I mean, no worse than it usually is. I did have to unplug it and plug it back in, but it's on. How about the computer? I'm not going to plug the keyboard in until I know it's not going to explode. Probably shouldn't have it this close to a vehicle, but here we go. Oh, it's got no RAM in it. Should probably fix that first. Okay, there's the RAM. Flip the power. I don't see a green standby LED, but that doesn't mean much. It's on. Something sounds like garbage. Oh, look at that. Wow. It actually works. That's amazing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the keyboard. Go into setup and see if we can figure out a little bit more about this thing. I hear a high-pitched whine. Not good. Oh well. See if I remember how to get into setup. I think it was like F2. Maybe it was delete. I'm pushing F2. Yeah, here we go. Into setup. 512 megabytes of memory. Ignore the fact it looks like crap. That's just the TV. Is the date and time correct? Well, the time isn't. It's not 5. But, yeah. No, I think it's a day off. Wow, 1800 plus? That's really slow. Well, it's not nearly as good as I thought. Yeah. I think I might have some better. That 12 volts is rather high. Not dangerously so, but it's a nice cool 15 degrees. Of course, when it's in the negatives outside, what do you expect? I do have a USB stick. I don't know if this thing is new enough to support USB booting. I didn't even think about that till now. I don't have a network out here, so I can't PXE boot it. Yeah, I don't think it's got... DVD booting, or sorry, USB booting. Okay, well, I'll try it anyway, but I don't think it's gonna work. Oh, look at that. It does support USB booting. Forgot to plug in a mouse. I think this is 32. I think it would have to be, because I'm pretty sure the system I installed this on is a Core Duo, which is 32-bit only. So, I wonder if it'll actually start and be usable. I also wonder if I can hot plug a PS2 mouse. Usually you're not supposed to do that, and it's kind of dangerous because you can blow something up like that, but I might try it anyway. Did it actually work? Well, we'll wait for it. Might be very slow. Yep, I think this RAM is bad. Okay. Battery's loose contacts. But I'm going to shut it down, and I'm going to give it a quick little upgrade in the process. I've got 2 gigs worth of PC 3200 here. That'd be much better than what's installed. We'll give it a try, see if it works any better. I'm not keeping my hopes up, though. See if it'll even post with that RAM. Well, it does. It only sees 1 gig, though. So that's a good sign. Test memory. Yeah, it only sees 1 gig. I think I've had problems with that before with Athlon XP systems. Maybe one of the slots is bad. See what happened there. Did it stop? Yep, it stopped. So, we got a problem. Okay, well, it took it a really long time, but we do have a desktop. It looks like the colors are even correct, at least mostly. So that's interesting. That's better than my last experience with this. So that's not bad, I guess. I wonder if there's anything I can use to benchmark this hardware. Because I can't install something like Geekbench. Although I guess I probably could. Doing this with only a keyboard is really kind of annoying. Let's see if I can find something in here. I might go, you know what? I think I'm probably, no. I'm gonna go get my Ultimate Boot CD. We'll use that. One of the optical drives is good. That's the CD-ROM. I don't know. I want to do some checking here. Let's see. Let's see if this will work. We'll just run some CPU testing tools. Booting will start automatically. Just go ahead and continue. CPU burn? I don't actually know. Let's try CPU burn 1. See if it'll load that. It should be a K7. So, it should be running now. I think I would have liked a tool that was a little more graphical than that, but let's try the other optical drive. See what happens. Oh, I recognize that sound. Sounds like a fire siren or something. Okay, do we have a graphical tool? Yeah, I don't think there's a graphical tool on this. So I'm not going to worry so much about it. There's no hard drive. I've already done the RAM. Others. Nope. Peripherals. I want to do the video. Alright. We'll do the video. Just load it with the default options. So. Make sure that that works. I can't see why it wouldn't. So. But I don't think there's really much else that I can do with this. So, that's the machine for you. What is going to end up having to happen, though, is I'm going to have to pull this power supply. And from there, I really don't know what's next for this. Because it looks like I don't really have the standoffs to be able to install a full-size board. So I'm going to have to either source some standoffs or just not use a full-size board. I think I might put the 1300 Thunderbird in here, though. That's probably what I'll end up doing, is just putting that Thunderbird in here, getting rid of all this crap. It still runs, but it's just not the most useful thing in the world. Still, I guess it made a video, so there's a thing. And, you all watched it. I'm sure you enjoyed it, so. Especially if you made it all the way through it. So I determined both optical drive works. I'm going to have to check the floppy drive. The RAM situation's kind of interesting. The RAM does not work. Well, it's either the RAM or it's the motherboard. Probably the motherboard, but that's only 512 meg of DDR266, so it's not really all that great anyway. I've got slower stuff, but I'm not going to keep it DDR266. So